For number 10, we are going to see if there is a linear relation between air temperature and wind speed and how they affect the wind chill. So I'm going to open this in StatCrunch. So we're going to look at these, find the regression. We have multiple explanatory variables here. Our y columns labeled y, x1 and x2 are our two explanatory variables. And then to solve the later parts of the problem, it's going to be nice if we save what our residuals are. So I'm going to click Save the Residuals. So when you hit Compute, we'll get the values here that we need for part A, where it figures out for us what the intercept would be, what the slope of our first explanatory variable would be, and the slope for the second one. So plug those in, and we have our least squares regression equation. But now we're going to look at the residual plots to see if this is actually a good, adequate model for comparing these variables. So what we're hoping is to see something like this, where there's no discernible pattern. And that is what we get when we look at the residual for air temperature. So to see that quickly in StatCrunch, we've saved our residuals. X1 was air temperature, so if we just look at the scatter plot of our air temperature versus our residual, and pay attention to the scale, 0 is right here. So we have points above the line, below the line. They look pretty uniformly spread out. There's no real pattern. So far so good. That's what we wanted to see. Now let's look at the other scatter plot. So that was air temperature. Now we're going to look at wind speed and see how that compares with the residuals. And now we notice a U shape here. So again, pay attention. Here's where the 0 axis is. So the U, it comes down, dips below 0, comes back up. There's definitely a pattern here, which is not what we were hoping for. We see this pattern. When we see a pattern like that, a discernible pattern, the linear model is inappropriate. So we would not want to use this equation here. We wouldn't want to plug in an air temperature, plug in a wind speed, and determine the wind chill. Because we determined right here that we saw a pattern, the linear model is not appropriate.